welcome to your mediation session today. My name is Tonje and I will be your mediator. First of all, maybe you guys could introduce yourself.
I'm Jack. I am the club manager of the Green Giant Country Club.
I'm Chris Linger. I was a patron at said club, and I'm here.
So you're okay with using first names? So
Yeah.
Jack and Chris?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
fine with that.
Yeah. So before we begin, are you both okay with where you're sitting? Is there anything you need to do before we start?
I think this is fine.
So I have sent both of you an agreement to mediate prior to coming here today. Have you both, is it correct that you both received it and signed it?
Yep.
Yes, I signed it.
That's good. The agreement provides most of what I will be talking about, but I think it's good just to go through it either way. So I don't have any prior knowledge of this case. And I don't know either of you, so I'm just here to act as an impartial, neutral, and try and help you with your conversation. A mediation is a voluntary process, so if either of you want to quit or leave, you are free to do so at any time. I do, however, encourage you to just take this time, since you both are here today, and try and work on your dispute. But I can't make any decisions for you, so it's all up to you what you want to do. Okay, so when I'm finished speaking, I would let each of you explain just what brought you here, what your concerns are. I think it might be beneficial for the person that brought this case in to go first. But if you are opposed to that, we can do it in a different way. And I think when you are talking about it, just try and include whatever you think would be helpful for me to know. Just because I don't know anything about this. At some point it might be helpful for me to meet with each of you separately. And I will explain that in more detail if it occurs. But if either of you want a separate session, you can both ask for that. And then I just have some guidelines that could be helpful if you are okay with me just suggesting something. I encourage you to treat each other with respect and courtesy throughout this whole thing, and try and listen for any new information that you might not have known about before. Do you have any guidelines you'd like to add, or?
Be nice.
Yeah. No cursing, probably.
Okay, are you both okay with that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's good. I see that you also have pen and paper, and I think it is really helpful for you to take notes if you hear anything new. And I also brought pen and paper so that I could take notes, just to keep the information straight. It's nothing. Yeah, so before we proceed, I would like to discuss confidentiality, since that is important. So anything said in this mediation today will be confidential. So that means that I cannot be compelled to testify about any of this in court. There are some exceptions to this rule, and we are bound to by the agreement to mediate that you both have signed. I don't expect any of them to occur, but it's good to keep that in mind. So one of them is that I can't keep confidential any statement constituting a crime, or lead to, or if there's any conflict of interest or any professional misconduct. So do you have any questions about any of this that we've gone through?
Do not.
Okay,
Um,
well,
I'll turn it to you then.
okay, then we will proceed. So would you like to go first?
Sure. Okay, yeah, so I'm the club manager for the Green Giant Country Club, and so we sell membership agreements, and one of those membership agreements we sold to Mr. Linger. And on June 1st, we had a policy change that we sent to all the members, and we announced that among those changes, there was going to be a requirement that golfing parties of 3 or more people had to get a golf cart, just in the months of May through September. And so in late June, Mr. Linger called me. He was upset. Apparently he had brought some of his friends to the country club on 2 different Saturdays in the middle of June. And I guess the staff told him that he needed to rent a car or a cart, and that made him upset. He said they were rude. I haven't heard of our staff being rude before, but I did apologize at that time. In August, I received a letter from Linger saying that he was dissatisfied with the new policy and his treatment by the staff, and so he decided to cancel his membership. And on top of that, he requested a final bill to close out the account. Unfortunately, that letter got lost in the mail, so I wasn't able to respond until February, which was the end of the contract period. So I sent him the bill, and I never heard anything back from him, so I filed a suit in small claims court, and then he filed the counterclaim, and we're here today.
Okay, thank you.
Essentially, what the country club manager said is basically what went down. I'm a part-time real estate agent, I'm a golf enthusiast, and I specifically chose the Green Giant Country Club because it didn't require at the time golf carts. You could walk to the holes, and that's something that's the primary reason I chose it. So that was a big deal to me, and I did do a membership agreement with the club, and then I got a letter on June 1st saying that through May through September, parties of 2 to 3 or more people have to rent golf carts. And essentially, I brought clients to the club on 2 different occasions, two Saturdays in June essentially. The first one, they gave me what I would call a warning. They told me, that I should have rented the cart. They told me I was slowing down the other groups, which I feel bad for, but it was kind of annoying, honestly. And the second Saturday, this is the situation that really put me over the edge, and I'm just not in a good place, happy place because of it. I'm actually kind of upset. I was with 2 clients, and the club staff was extremely rude to me, and I did express this to I called the club manager, and he apologized, but I kind of call it like a half apology, or that's how I perceived it at least. He apologized, but he said that, it's the expectation of the staff to enforce the rules, and my ego is one thing, but essentially what that interaction cost me was a client, because the client that was with me that day hasn't done any business with me, hasn't returned any of my phone calls, and I'm pretty sure it's because of that confrontation that they saw. So in August, I wrote a letter because I wasn't happy with the change, and I wasn't happy with the explanation/apology. Though I recognize the apology, I just wasn't happy with it. I wrote a letter to this club in August saying that I don't like it, I'm tired of the new policy, and I do not want to be in that membership. I want to final bill close out. I am now aware that apparently that letter got lost. So I heard nothing from them. Then, in February, I received a letter saying that I owed them $2,286, which I was kind of like, it doesn't make sense to me, because I requested months ago for my agreement to be changed, and I have not gone to the country club since the second incident. I have not gone back, so, I kind of just, they demanded fulfillment of the contract, and that was a lot of time had passed, so I basically was just like, okay, I gotta see how it plays out. Then next month I received a notice about the lawsuit, and that's why we're here today. And as upset as I am about the whole thing, I don't like that they changed the rules, I'm upset, but I do wanna come to some sort of agreement. I never returned to the club. I'm no longer a member. I don't wish to be a member. I'm actually shocked that I will get charged the whole contract without being responded to in the 6 months, and I get it got lost, but there has to be other forms of checking up on communication. So I countersued, and essentially, I'm pretty upset about losing a client. And and I guess we'll go from there and hope we can come to an agreement today. A lot of information, so.
Okay, well, thank you. So what I'm hearing from this is that you got a membership at your country club, and you chose this specific country club because of their policy that you did not have to rent golf cars when you go there. And then you changed your policy on June 1st, requiring that golf carts has to be rented for parties of 3 people or more.
During May through September.
Yeah, so, yeah, okay. So that led to 2 confrontations. You brought clients to the golf course, and you were told that you needed to rent a golf cart. Okay. So after that, you decided you wanted to not be a member anymore?
After the second interaction.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was in August that you canceled your membership, or
Yes,
sent the letter canceling your membership?
Yes, and requesting a final bill.
Okay. And the letter got lost, and you responded in February, which was the end of the period, the contract period? Okay. And then you sent him a bill for the entire contract period?
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay. So how do normally canceling memberships work?
They just have to notify us in some way that they want it to be canceled.
Okay, is there any period of time they have to pay to be a member?
Well, there's a one-time membership payment of $3,500, no matter how long the membership lasts, you have to pay that.
Okay.
Then it's about $220 a month for dues, and there's a 10% penalty for late payments.
Okay. And so when you cancel your membership, you can do that on the day, and then you don't have to pay any more of the monthly fees?
Right.
Okay. So what you are wanting is to get paid for the entire period?
I believe we received the one-time payment, so we just wanted $220 a month plus a 10% late fee increase.
Okay. And how do you feel?
I don't feel like I owe the extra months I wasn't a member, especially after notice. Especially the late fees. Before we even get to the big enchilada, so to speak, the late fees is where I really don't agree, because how can I be late on something that I thought I was removed from? So they charged me $176 for 8 months at $22. There's no way I think I can pay that, because I refuse to pay late fees on something I feel I wasn't a member with, especially with notice. So if I had been going to his facilities and enjoying it, I get it, but I ceased to go, I ceased to go, excuse me. And I stopped going after those 2 incidents. And I just don't want to pay for anything I didn't enjoy, essentially. No matter how the communication was not received, and I apologize for it getting lost in the mail. But I don't think I should pay for that.
Okay. So you paid for your membership until August, so it's the months from August until February that...
Is it?
Yeah, I paid up until August, because I called in August to cancel, so I'm pretty sure I paid in August.
Okay.
So it's 8 months, it's 8 months of dues that he wants, that I
So
was not a member.
when would that be? So it's August, September, October,
I'm sorry.
November, December, January, February. So that would be 7. So it would be,
So
you would
that's-
pay in July?
No, I paid in July probably, and probably I didn't give maybe I called, you know what, I called August first to cancel, and I didn't pay August because I canceled on August first.
Okay.
So that makes 8 months, I believe. I'm not good at math, real estate agents, we don't crunch the numbers, we just
Right,
close the deal,
right.
but I apologize, I'm just not good at math. But yeah, so I paid in July, then I called, or I sent that letter August first,
Yes.
and I've not paid from August to up until now.
Okay. So you are initially just wanting, or you don't want to pay for the months that you haven't used your membership?
No, because especially if I sent notice, so let's say I didn't tell him anything, I was just mad, and then I went to golf, then I'd see why he needs the money, because I'm using his services. But if I specifically state, I'm no longer a member here, send me a final bill, which would probably be the last month's, membership or whatever, the last month's dues, send me that final bill, please. I'd be happy to pay that and go on my life. Didn't hear nothing until February. Hey, guess what, buddy, you have a whole bunch of money you owe us. And that's where I don't sit well with the situation.
So the letter that you sent, where was it?
It was just, I don't know, it was lost in the mail box, I guess, apparently. And we didn't get it until February, and that's when I responded.
So it was the postal service that
I
had
guess I
it?
don't know the specifics, just,
Okay.
I didn't get it till February.
Okay. So when someone cancels a membership, do you tell the members that you have received their?
Well, yeah, cause we send the bill back and then they don't pay that, so we do have some way of acknowledging that we received the bill.
Okay. Is that expressed to the members so they know what to expect?
Can you rephrase the question?
How do you, like your procedure around canceling, do you inform the members about that when they get a membership?
I don't know.
Like, how are we put on notice that we owe a bill? Is that?
But you're asking like if we're upfront about how we can cancel it. I'm sure it's in the
Yes.
contract somewhere, but it's not.
Should
I don't have any specific information about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I should ask my lawyer, cause I don't remember, I just know if you gave notice.
Yeah, that should be enough.
And I don't have an attorney for this, I just mean my contract attorney.
Okay, yes, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Your attorney friend.
Yeah, my attorney friend.
Okay. So how do you feel about him not wanting to, pay?
Well, I understand that he wouldn't wanna pay for services he didn't use, but we still have to make the same preparations for members every single month, that's why the dues exist. So if we don't receive proper notice, we still prepare everything that we normally would, and that still costs us money. So I feel bad that we didn't get notice right away, but we still spent that money.
Okay.
And while I understand that, I would like for you to find proper notice, because I definitely sent it in the mail, and I didn't disrupt that process, your company didn't get it. I mean, how is that on me? If I sent it in, I'm not gonna call you every week and say, did you get my letter, did you get my
Well,
letter?
did you call me once?
I called
You
you.
called me once before you sent it, but you never called me after that.
Yeah, to tell you it was being sent, I believe.
No, you told me that, you were upset about the golf
Yeah.
cart, you didn't tell me anything about canceling membership at that point.
Yeah, but is it really my responsibility to call you and check if you got my letter? If I sent it and I want my bill, I'm willing to pay, give me my bill. I'll pay last month dues for your preparation, and then beyond that month of August, I don't see why I would owe anything.
I mean, what did you think after the first month when you didn't get a response? Why did you just give up there?
Well, I'm not the business owner.
Right, but do
You're
you
the-
normally cancel things and then not follow up to make sure?
I mean, you could ask yourself that same question as the
Well,
business.
I didn't know you were gonna cancel.
I mean, weren't you put on notice when I called twice and told you how?
No, you didn't tell me you were gonna cancel, you just said you were upset about it.
Yeah, and wouldn't you follow up with a customer to see if everything's going okay? I mean.
Well, I did, I apologized at that point, that conversation, I didn't know whether or not you'd come back, but
I mean, isn't that a concern as a business?
I mean, we do our best to please our customers, and I did try to follow up with the employees, and, I mean, I couldn't find anything, all the other customers are satisfied with them. Our services are generally known as family friendly, and we haven't had any similar problems since then. That's what we did, to the extent of it.
I just don't see how it's my problem that you didn't get the letter. That's essentially the problem I have. I'm willing to talk about this and work something out, but for you to say that I didn't call you and check up, I find ridiculous, because you are being paid a service, and I get that. It's not my job to follow up. Could we both follow up? Maybe.
But I mean, it's not my job to read your mind either.
It is. Not your job to read my mind, but it's your job to please the
I
customer.
mean, I'm supposed to call you up and ask if you're gonna cancel?
You're not-
That's
you're
not
not-
what a business person would do either.
You're not my neighbor, essentially.
Right, but-
You're a business.
Right, and,
So
I
I
mean,
think-
how do you normally
I
handle
think
business
you have a
stuff?
higher burden. Well, when they provide good business, I give them my business.
Right,
And this is how you're gonna treat me, then I don't even know how you're in business, but that's a whole nother story.
Okay, so, what do you think would be helpful, in moving this forward?
He wants me to pay, I don't wanna pay, and if there's some sort, and I understand that miscommunication, like I said, we both could have done something different. So I'm willing to come to some sort of compromise, but for him to acknowledge that how come I didn't check up with him, I just find that ridiculous. And it sucks, and I apologize, but as a business, I just think person and business, there are two different standards of how you conduct yourself, like in terms of the world. So I'm willing to come to some sort of compromise, but I'm not gonna pay for something I canceled. Essentially what it comes down to. Maybe can come up to some sort of number or agreement, but I cannot pay for 8 months of dues if I didn't even, if I canceled and did not want the service no more. And I was willing to close my account, I wanted to do this in good faith. Send me the bill, dude, I give you how much is it, $200? Yeah, $220, we go our separate ways, good luck. But 8 months, it's kind of a lot.
So, when he's saying that he's willing to compromise, would you be open to reducing the bill, or?
sure, I just wanna know what compromise looks like to you, cause I can't knock off all the dues for you, unfortunately. It's just, we did spend the money on that, so, I'd be willing to knock off the late fees. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Well, thank you for that, I mean, cause I refuse to pay the late fees, because if I'm already asserting that I didn't have a membership, how would I even have late fees? So I think that's a good step towards where I think we should be, or where we're going to go, so I'm okay with I like that idea, and I appreciate that, so I'm okay with knocking off the late fees.
Okay, so how much would we go down then?
Oh,
It
The
was
late fees would be
10%?
$176.
Yeah,
so
176 is late fee, so we would knock that off the total.
That'd be 2,116.
And just to show you I come in good faith, I'm willing to pay the club charges because I did consume that food and I did have cart rentals. So I do owe the country
Okay.
club $350, so that's not even a contestant for me.
Okay,
Because
so
now,
that is $350?
yeah, so I'm
So
paying
the
that.
totals right now would be 2,116.
Yes.
And, since you've been willing to work with me, I do wanna share some, information with you, like, I'm in the process of, I wanna pay you some money, but I don't think I should pay for all of it because I wasn't a member and it wasn't my fault that I was costing them, but I do have a huge financial obligation coming up and I just can't be handing out money for services I didn't use, so if there's some way we can, either, get this 8 months cut down somehow or figure out the situation, cause I wasn't a member at that time, and I could go into my financial obligation, speaking of, and be okay, so that's another thing I'm thinking about too.
Okay, what do you think when you read this? Yes.
So you say you don't wanna pay for services you didn't use. I mean, would you be willing to have those, like if you came back to the club, would you be willing to do that and just, you could use the club for free for a couple of months?
You know, I honestly like that idea, because I apologize for being upset. I'm just an emotional person. Essentially, you still have that May through June policy, correct?
May through September.
May through September policy. That deterred me, but since kind of being gone, you know, I kind of missed the place a little bit, to be honest with you, and you know, and I could walk the rest of the months. You know, I mean, will it suck? Yeah, but if you're willing to offer me X amount of months you deem for free to make up for the time I wasn't a member, then I might be willing, you know, to pay what you're asking. You know, but that being said, it might be tough to pay the 8 months of dues. And then say I get like I don't know how much months you're offering, but let's say you give me 2 months free, but I still have to pay 8 months of dues. That's still kind of tough, so we can come to some sort of agreement on that. You know, maybe split the months down the middle. I owe you 8 months, right? Maybe I pay for 4.
That sounds fine to me.
Maybe I pay for 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I get, you know, maybe 4 free. I don't know, or however many you think is okay for you. You know, the fact.
Hold on, I gotta redo my finances real quick.
Okay.
So is it possible for you to still pay the full amount?
Of what?
The 2,116.
And that's the 8 months.
Right, and then I give you however many months free.
I can pay that amount. I don't know if all of it can be upfront. Is there some sort of payment structure we can go? Because
I mean, you can go monthly again if you want.
Yeah, so I'm okay with going monthly, but then how would you get your full $2,000? I can pay the $350 today.
Right.
The charges, I owe that, obviously. I could even pay the 1 month dues that I put my notice for today,
Okay.
like this minute. So $350 plus $220, I can pay today. Now, what I wanna know is how would we address those 7 months in between my free months or monthly, like how would that be?
So let's see here.
Would you like a break to think about it, or are you okay?
I think I'm okay.
Okay.
Okay, too.
I just gotta do math.
Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, that's the tough part. Because I owed you 8 months at $220, which was $1,760. Then,
So-
okay,
I think maybe then. Never mind, what were you gonna say?
because I owe you, I was trying to help you with the math.
Okay.
So I owe you 8 months, and that at $220 per month is $1,760.
Right.
I already said today I'd be willing to pay the club charges.
Right.
And then the 1 month that I give the notice on, which is August, right? So
Right.
that's $220 plus $350, which I don't know that number.
570?
$570. So then that will leave me owing you essentially 7 more months.
Right.
Now, I guess the question becomes, how do we compromise on that 7 month versus the 7 month payment versus the free month aspect of it?
Right.
That's where I'm kind of stuck on.
Yeah. And what we were talking about though is having like, so when you're paying this, you're paying the remaining 17 or whatever. So you're paying the first month upfront, correct?
The August month, yes. So
Okay.
that leaves 7 months
So
of
that'd be
dues.
1540.
So 1540, yeah. So that'd be 1540. And my question now is, how do we divide that
Into 7 more months.
into 7 more months to where you get your money and I get my free months?
Yeah, so is there, so we were thinking like monthly payments of 220 to cover those months, right?
Yes.
So would you be willing to pay like maybe half the monthly fee in addition to that, like every month?
So my normal 220 plus half of the 220 that I owe? I'm kinda confused on the math.
Yeah, so it'd be like the 20 and then you'd be paying half of the actual month, so it'd be like 330. So you'd be getting, it wouldn't be free, but it'd be a discount then for any future months.
Well, if I do that, can I at least get a couple of months free up front so I can catch up on
Yeah,
finances?
yeah, that'd be fine.
So I don't have to pay dues the next 2 months, but then after that, we go to the agreement of the 220 plus the half, so
Yeah.
standard plus half of what I owe you.
Right.
Until it's paid off, which I don't know how long that'll be, because it's more math, obviously, but,
Right, so it'd be 330 for the next 7 months, right?
yeah, after my true 3 months, because I
Right.
need those 2 months to really catch, I have a huge financial obligation.
I think the math works out, and then the corporate masters will be satisfied.
Yeah, I mean, I wanna apologize, I get pretty emotional, and I try not to, but, life. And when you sell houses too, you can't really, think about what I do for a living, you can't just be like, look at this cool desk, you have to be like oak wood from 1912, and, the president touched it or something, I don't know, but you have to be very passionate, about that, but,
Okay, so, I can try and sum this up for you. So what you have come to an agreement about is that you are willing to pay for, the 8 months, but not the late fees. You have agreed
Right.
to, limit the late fees. And then you pay, $570 today for August and for,
the charges,
yes,
the food and the car rental.
yes. And then you also get 2 months free, starting from next month or,
Starting next month.
okay, the first of,
It'd be, so it's 2 months free, and then the next 7 months, he'll be paying his initial fees and half off for the
7.
actual, so it'll be for
yes.
next 7 months.
Yeah.
But the 2 free months start next month?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Yeah.
And then after the 2 months?
Yeah, like I
you
can't
do
go
the-
today, but once December 1st, I can start golfing again.
Okay.
Right, it's perfect golfing weather.
Yeah, because we don't live in Minnesota,
Right, we live,
Florida.
we live at the Green Giant Country Club.
Yes.
Okay, so this is something you are both, this sounds correct and you're both comfortable?
Yeah, I mean, it gives me 2 months, and honestly, since we agreed to this, I wanna thank you, but, will you also, I'll drop my counterclaim, if you drop the suit as well.
Yep.
Okay, because, and thank you once again, man, you grew my business again, and essentially the problem, was I'm buying a house, that's my big financial obligation, I didn't know if I wanted to share that with you, but since we come to an agreement, I feel like I can share that. I was buying a house and this litigation was tying it up, and I wanna keep golfing, and I wanna buy a house, and you wanna get paid, I think it all worked out, so, thank you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you both doing this and trying to solve everything. And I think you have done really good progress and come to an agreement that you're hopefully okay with. Is there anything else? Any other concerns or anything any of you want to add?
I do have a question,
Yeah.
Manager. As you know, throughout this perspective, or throughout this process, I can be very vocal and convincing the people. Is there any way if I convinced a couple of members that left due to my complaints, if I convince them to come back, is there any way maybe is there like an incentive, like a percentage, a bonus or something like that, if I get the members to come back? I know we've come to this agreement, but I was just curious, because I want those 2 guys that left to come back, and I know they kinda miss it too.
I mean, I don't know about a bonus, I'd appreciate if you got them to come back,
Okay.
but I don't know if I can offer anything like that at this
Okay.
moment, but based on our current deal.
Okay, well, I just mean like, maybe from a social media perspective, maybe I can just say I'm back and, or I'm excited to be a member of this club once again, kind of thing.
That'd be fine.
Okay, cool, cause I just feel bad that I'm gonna enjoy it, but then these 2 guys who kinda stick by my side that won't, and I'm gonna try to talk them back into it. So
Okay.
that was just my question kind of thing. And, I kinda wanna keep everything we talked about to us, too.
Okay. besides you announcing.
Oh, announcing that I'm back, but the things that led up to it, our agreements, the payment agreement, cause I think maybe some members would be like, what, he gets a discount,
Yeah, I mean, usually you don't talk about that, right?
Yeah, well, be surprised after a few beers and some
Okay.
golf, man.
It's all about contracts.
People talk about crazy things, but yeah, so I just wanted to clear that loose end up, and, be happy to close on this new house and golf December 1st.
Yeah.
Golfing season starts.
Yes.
Well, this is great. So if you would like, we can start to write up an agreement.
Okay.
We can do this in different ways. I can write it and you can dictate, and
Sure.
or you can write it, either of you, or
I think we'd like to have you write it, but we'll dictate.
okay. Yeah. So we all agree on the wording.
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, you agreed to pay $350 and then $220
Today.
today.
Yes, I already checked it, my checkbook's in my car.
Okay, so, is the check okay with you?
Yeah.
You get that today?
You need
Okay.
your cash.
Unless you have a square reader, I have a credit card.
So that's $350 and $220,
In
Yeah.
check form.
check,
Check,
yes.
yeah.
To be delivered today.
Yeah. Be a parking lot.
Okay.
At 4:05 p.m.
That sounds good. Okay, and then, starting December 1st, you get 2 months of free golfing. Does that just include the golfing, or?
The membership.
Membership.
Yeah, just the membership dues, so the golf cart
Yeah.
and, other fees are separate.
Yep, and ironically, I have to pay my first month in February, the anniversary of which I was given a big bill, so I'm a fan of irony. So I would pay February 1st, that'd be my first month.
Yes, $330.
Yeah, the 220 plus half of what I owe essentially, which is half of 220 in that sense, okay.
Yeah. So February 1st, how is the payment? Will you pay the same way you?
Same way you
Same
normally
way,
do,
yeah,
yeah.
I usually just have my credit card auto bill or something like that.
Okay. So after the 7 months, do you want to continue to be a member? Do you want to make an agreement about that, or do you just want to see?
I think next time you want to cancel the membership, please call me instead of mailing
Okay.
it.
I can do that.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's okay
it-
with me.
Yeah, it ensures that I'm no longer a member, I don't get charged, and it ensures that he knows, so
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
So after the 7 months, do you want your membership to be canceled, or do you want
I think
to call?
it will just go back with the same notice that it was before this.
Right,
so
I go
like
back to 220 per month.
Yeah,
And
but-
you'll just automatically continue unless
Yeah,
he calls
unless
me.
I call him or he doesn't show
Okay.
up, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the same notice will apply once those 7 months are over. Cause those 7 months would just be the, yeah, okay.
So after the 7 months, you will continue to pay $220 a
Yep.
month,
Until I'm no longer a member.
unless you call to cancel.
Yep.
Okay.
Cause I have to do more than just send a letter, so I will call him, and if he doesn't answer, I will show up.
Okay. And that sounds good to you?
Yeah.
Then you're.
Don't show up at my house, show up at the country club.
My best for all parties involved.
Okay, and then the late fees we already eliminated, so
Right,
Yes,
that's.
thank you for that, by the way.
So added up, this will be 2,116 after the 7 months.
Yeah, so it'd be the entirety of how much he owed, it's 2,116, plus he's paying half of
Yes.
a membership every month for 7 months. So however much that works out to be.
Yeah, I like when you break it down monthly, cause it seems less, so that's.
Okay, is there anything else?
You wanted the confidentiality.
Yes.
Yeah,
definitely.
confidentiality.
Except for the fact he's at the club.
Yeah, that will.
So that will
include stuff
be-
at the club.
Okay, so the confidentiality will contain the,
The
money
numbers
aspect.
and the monthly aspect,
Yeah.
the getting rid of the fees, late fees, excuse me.
Yeah, okay.
And I promised
So
to,
the agreement that we are writing would be confidential, but the fact that you're a member,
would not be.
yeah, okay.
I'm
You're-
actually, yeah, I'm gonna tweet about it.
Okay, and that sounds good to you?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to get those two guys back, but this won't be in the agreement, but I'll try to get Jim and John back.
Yeah. Okay, was there anything else?
Just, my bad, sorry, on both sides of this.
Yeah, write that down.
And if you ever need a home, let me know, I can show you some homes.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you for coming. You did really good work today.
So is there anything else from us new year?
Nope, not if you don't have anything to add, then we are